Hello and welcome to the Witness History podcast with me, Ilona Toller. Today I'm taking you back to the newly reunited Germany of 1991 and the vote to decide which city would become the country's capital. Two sides fought ferociously. Bonn, to retain the capital status it held in West Germany, against the historic capital in Berlin. It's the 20th of June 1991 and the German Interior Minister Wolfgang Schäuble is at the makeshift government building, the Wasserwerk, in Bonn. He's about to give one of the most important speeches of his career, arguing that Berlin has to be made the capital of the new, reunified Germany.
And then, about 45 minutes before the session, I got myself a coffee and lit up my pipe. And I thought about how to start my speech, because the beginning is the most important part.
After World War II, when Germany was split into two halves, lawmakers decided that the small and unheralded city of Bonn should become the temporary capital of West Germany. And it stayed that way as it became clear that the division of the country between capitalist West and communist East was there to stay. Bonn thrived as the capital of West Germany, which underwent an economic miracle to recover from the Second World War.
The world looked at the small, modest Bonn, which
Bonn
was
citizen
quiet.
Jürgen Nimmt, who would later become the mayor of the city.
Queen Elizabeth was visiting us, John F. Kennedy, Mikhail Gorbachev, and so on and so on. A lot of people and the citizens of Bonn basked in the splendor, and they did well because the federal government provided jobs, prosperity, and a lively cultural life.
Berlin, located east of the border, was separated in two by the Berlin Wall.
This giant scar across the landscape of Germany.
Political aggression and a pretty nasty piece of calculated inhumanity to boot.
But in 1989, the fall of the wall made headlines around the world.
Bulldozers breaking holes in the Berlin Wall, the most sinister fortified border in the world.
The Iron Curtain opened.
City reunifying itself.
The post-war order in Europe is now collapsing.
You're happy?
Yes, I am happy.
Marvelous. I think it's marvelous.
The end of the wall marked the end of communism in East Germany and set the stage for reunification. But after so long apart, bringing the country together was going to be very complex and would require immense political will.
One issue which is still dividing the country: which city should be its capital? The contest is between Berlin, which was the capital until Hitler's downfall, and Bonn, which has been the seat of parliament and government since 1949.
Both sides collected arguments.
Many Germans thought that the former power center of the Third Reich, Berlin, was not suitable as a political center of the new democratic Germany.
The residence of the Führer and Chancellor Adolf Hitler.
The case for it is its history. The case against it is also its history.
So Bonn was standing for modesty and democratic reliability, while Berlin stood for a view of the state that was obedient to the authorities.
Wolfgang Schäuble was an unlikely ally for the Berlin side. He was a veteran West German political operator and minister. Most West Germans supported Bonn, and they outnumbered voters in the East. But Schäuble saw moving the capital as an important step in successfully reunifying the country.
You know how it is, as long as we're doing well, we don't want anything to change. And that was the starting position for the debate. It was suspenseful till the end.
On the 20th of June 1991, a decision was due by parliamentary vote, with a final debate first.
And Bonn or Berlin for the Bundestag? German parliamentarians vote today on their future capital.
Berlin's Mayor Eberhard Diepgen, he speaks as if Bonn's arguments will prevail.
They want to consolidate the Bonn Republic. I think that's against history.
The members of parliament from the northern and eastern Germany would be predominantly for Berlin, and those from southern and western Germany would be predominantly for Bonn.
Of course, they had pre-counted how everyone planned to vote, so they were pretty sure they would have the majority.
The day became quite an event in Bonn. Crowds gathered at the marketplace in front of the historic town hall.
We had a big screen with a live broadcast of the debate. We were relaxed and said, at the end of the day, it would be Bonn.
Up to this point, Wolfgang Schäuble had not been expected to intervene in the debate at all. But he surprised everyone by standing on the floor of the parliament and making an impassioned plea on behalf of Berlin. A West German politician publicly backing the East German city.
This debate wasn't about Bonn or Berlin, about West Germany or South Germany. It wasn't about regional interests. It simply was about the future of Germany in a united Europe. Berlin is in the middle of Europe, and that's why it is the only right place for the capital.
The reaction was immediate. His speech had struck a nerve.
I immediately felt a strong reaction from the MPs. At the end, the Berlin supporters got up from their seats and gave me a standing ovation.
Inside the Bundestag, it was clear that many had been won over. The vote was now going to be very close indeed.
From Germany, where the parliament has just voted by 17 votes to move the seat of government from Bonn to Berlin.
Parliament President Rita Süssmuth announced the result and the market grew quiet. For a lot of people in Bonn, the world collapsed. What can we do now?
But, according to Jürgen Nimtsch, the people of Bonn quickly adapted to this new reality, which he ascribes to the character of the Rhineland, the area around the city.
In Rhineland, we ever say, it is like it is. We drink our beer, a Kölsch, or 2, or 3, or 5, maybe 10, and the next day we have to think about what we can do. A different Bonn, a new Bonn.
The Bundestag decided that Bonn would get financial aid to compensate for the loss of jobs and investments. But that wasn't all.
The United Nations came to Bonn, and now we are proud to be Germany's United Nations city. That fits with our story. The structural change has done Bonn well. The government has gone and the United Nations have come.
Meanwhile, hopes that putting the capital in Berlin would kickstart a revival of the East, which had lagged behind economically under communism, haven't been fully realized. Inequality between East and West remains a persistent problem in German politics. But Berlin's status as the capital is a constant reminder of the fact that Germans never want their country to be divided again.
That was the right decision. Whenever I'm in Berlin giving a speech, I tell Berliners to be more aware of their responsibility as a capital. The beauty of it all is that today, this decision is no longer questioned by anyone.
Complaining is not our business.
Everything turned out okay for Bonn at the end?
A few people say, oh, in former times, all was on a better way, but the world is changing and Bonn has to change too. I'm proud to be a Bonner.
Jürgen Nimtsch ending that edition of the Witness History podcast. It was presented by me, Ilona Toller, and it was a Whistledown production for the BBC World Service.